You're back on World News. The brightest moon in almost 69 years is lighting up the sky this week, in for a treat for star watchers around the globe. On Monday night, Sydney residents gathered in and around Bondi Beach to watch the supermoon rise. Across the international date line in New Zealand, it will reach its brightest after midnight on Tuesday local time. The moon will be at its brightest this week because it is coming closer to the Earth along its elliptical orbit than at any time since January 1948. The supermoon will also bring stronger than usual high tides, followed by plunging low tides the next morning. It won't be as big and bright again for another 18 years. Iranian investors are pouring money into Kish Island in the Gulf, hoping its white sand beaches, coral reefs, and more relaxed Islamic rules could make it a major tourism destination.
The pristine beaches of Kish Island off the coast of Iran. They attract some 1.8 million visitors per year, mostly residents of Tehran hoping to escape their congested capital. Kish is located only 200 kilometers from Dubai, and it's the booming Gulf city-state's tens of thousands of wealthy expats that investors are now hoping to attract.
If you have expat families who live in Dubai but they're tired of the hassles of daily life in Dubai, of too much media, advertisement, commercialism, Kish could ideally, if certain conditions are met, could ideally position itself as the weekend getaway.
The buildings in Kish are modern, the hotels comfortable, and new shopping centers are sprouting up everywhere. Here, Islamic rules are not as strictly enforced as they are in the rest of the country, with men allowed to wear shorts and the morality police seldom seen. But they're still in place. There are no bars, clubs, or alcohol, and men and women must use separate beaches. Still, this hasn't deterred investors.
You could have enough environmental attractions such as scuba diving, boat excursions to the smaller island of Kish. Kish is just it's not just Kish Island, there's a couple other smaller islands. These things, they don't require that much conflict with your social mores.
Iran is in the midst of a tourism boom thanks to efforts by the current moderate government to rebuild ties with the West. Visitor numbers have leapt from 2.2 million a year in 2009 to 5.2 million in 2015.
The World Health Organization says about 300,000 babies are born with sickle cell disease every year. Now, researchers have proved that a new gene editing technique could pave the way toward a cure for the inherited genetic disease. And VOA's Kevin Enox reports.
Sickle cell anemia is a well-understood genetic disease that deforms oxygen-carrying blood cells.
We know exactly the mutation that causes the disease, and we know that if we correct that mutation, we will cure the disease.
While healthy blood cells are round, sickle cells are jagged like crescent moons and can get caught up in the bloodstream, causing pain and sometimes organ damage. Using a gene technique called CRISPR-Cas9, scientists from the University of California at Berkeley took stem cells from people with sickle cell disease, cut out the mutation, and replaced it with a healthy strand of DNA.
We engrafted the cells in the mouse for 4 months, and after 4 months we took them out and we looked at the levels of editing, and we were getting levels of editing consistent with achieving a clinical benefit in patients with sickle cell disease.
From here, the researchers will move ahead to ensure the gene editing process doesn't cause more genetic problems than it fixes, and then they have to prove that it's safe for humans. But if it works out, the technique could be expanded to a host of other well-understood genetic disorders.
A British student has developed what's claimed to be the world's first robot lawyer, helping unhappy motorists appeal against parking tickets. Joshua Browder is a second-year student at Stanford University and founder of Do Not Pay, claimed to be the world's first robot lawyer. First, the robot asks you questions about the ticket you were given. Once it knows the legal issue, it takes down the details and places them into a legally sound appeal, which can be sent directly to the local authorities. Browder says millions of dollars worth of tickets were appealed and over 180,000 tickets were successfully overturned. Now let's take a look at what the weather will be like across the world today. Jakarta and Singapore will be rainy, while Tokyo and London will be cloudy and Beijing will be sunny. Meanwhile, Sydney will be cloudy, while Paris and New York will be rainy. Cape Town and Mumbai will be sunny. Coming up on World News, sword fighting in Taiwan becomes the latest educational trend. And the upcoming science fiction movie, Ghost in the Shell.
This is Major. I'm on site.